And I understand why a lot of people end up quitting or feeling burnt out. Poki's been at this game for a very, very long time. Wait, what is this? Is Pokimane quitting Twitch? What the hell? This is just what? Is this a debate? I don't understand. Yeah, she's going to kick. I mean, I don't know why Pokimane is quitting Twitch, but it seems like she's quitting. The end of an era. Twitch has been my home for a decade. But it's time to say thank you for all the memories and love during my League, Fortnite, and Among Us days. Okay? Don't know what this means. I texted her. She did not respond. And it's not like she's streaming on Twitch right now. So she probably has spare time to reply, but she's choosing not to. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Poki seems like she's quitting streaming altogether. Yeah, I feel like she's probably not going to go to a different platform to stream. I think she's probably not streaming anymore. And it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense because a lot of people don't really understand this, especially if you're just like kind of watching from afar. People think like Twitch streaming is glitz and glamour and like an endless sea of like $100 million contracts that people are giving you and showering you with praises as you just like sit there and watch other people's like hard worked YouTube content and offer zero commentary over it. And while the second part is true, I think what a lot of people don't recognize is that Twitch streaming has all of those components. That much is true. Okay. But then it's also a sequence of just like having to withstand endless amounts of cyber stalking and cyber harassment. You are being directly, literally harassed by people all day. Yes. So I suspect that that might play a role in this decision. I don't know. I mean, I can't speak for her. I'm sure she will explain it herself. But it's not just that Twitch is the most parasocial site. Hasan life is hard. No, I'm a very fortunate person. But let's be for real for a brief moment. Behind the scenes, everyone is completely aware of how at least other content creators are completely aware of like how ridiculous my haters are. Poki has a lot of them as well. Oh, gee, guys, I'm getting millions a year, but chat is toxic. No, it's not just about like toxicity. And also, this is not a comparison between like a Twitch streamer and a person trapped in an Amazon distribution facility. I think like everybody understands that the person in the Amazon distribution facility is getting paid for backbreaking labor and is getting like meager wages for that backbreaking labor. And it sucks. When people talk about Twitch streaming in comparison to other forms of entertainment, we're just simply talking about other avenues of entertainment, like being a YouTuber, being a podcaster. If you want to talk about like online, being a TikToker, comparisons between different kinds of different facets of entertainment, online entertainment, being an e-celebrity, or even being a real celebrity. Okay, making her decision all about you. Bet you spam texted her. Her decision isn't about you, but like this is actually a perfect demonstration of what I mean. I think that this kind of behavior, like making your 700th sock account to come in here and do this kind of thing and like write this kind of shit in the chat and be so oblivious to the reality that like you're the one who is actually obsessed. Like people in this community know that this is that one specific stalker. You know what I mean? Like this guy is so unimaginably obsessed that like people in this community are aware of like this specific schizophrenic stalker. That's how regular this kind of interaction is. That while I was in the point of describing like how shitty Twitch streaming or just live streaming in general is in comparison to other forms of content creation online, a dude immediately demonstrated that. What are the odds, right? If this wasn't like an endless sea of like cyber stalking, harassment, and a pattern of like incredibly obsessive, incredibly unhealthy behavior, and then a defense of that kind of incredibly unhealthy, incredibly obsessive behavior. That's the other part of this process. That this is something that other people don't have to, like other content creators don't have to experience to the same degree. Does that make sense? Twitch especially and like live streaming especially lends itself to a lot of like parasocial behavior in comparison to like all other forms of content creation online. Gets a shit ton more of this kind of behavior. Obviously there are definitely upsides to Twitch streaming, but the reality is like you put out a YouTube video, it's very different than speaking for 10 hours a day. It's like you can craft your narrative perfectly, make it airtight, There's no like misspeaking. There's no like replying to someone in a way that comes across differently than your intentions. And that's it. Would you be willing to share a few incidents on how chat or online negativity affected you on a personal level? If it makes you depressed or something, I think it would make us all understand at a personal, relatable level. No, I'm not willing to share any incidents of that sort. I mean, I've talked about it before. There's a lot of like actionable death threats. There's a lot of doxing, a lot of swatting, you know, going around and like trying to make your life miserable, trying to make your friends' lives miserable, stalking your friends, right? Like stalking any collaboration that you do. Like I did this Alveus collab, and immediately in the YouTube uploads of the Alveus collab, you got people being like, "This guy's a terrorist. He loves terrorism. Why are you working with this guy?" Like that level of behavior, unfortunately, is in the eyes of many online now, as we almost completely exist in the internet, is seen as like not the actions of a unhinged hater engaging in cyber stalking to that degree, but simply accountability. There is no real accountability there. It's just a deeply unhealthy person. It's not valid criticism. It's just a person shit stirring and smearing. Okay. Yeah. Accountability in this space of the internet is just a word people use to justify harassment. Exactly. I'll end the conversation on a positive note, though. Regardless of this kind of behavior, when people say, "Why don't you just like stop streaming and do YouTube videos or whatever?" And that's because I love this community. I love the community that I've cultivated. I believe that there are plenty of people that have changed their attitudes over the course of the many years that I've been streaming. And I will continue to grow this community with the hopes that I can reach out to an even broader audience and change their minds as well, get them to see a different framework. And moments like the Alveus collab, where off the cuff, this community raises almost $30,000 for the Alveus Animal Sanctuary, is exactly why I continue doing the things I do. Okay? That's why I do it. Also because I'm brain broken. That's definitely part of it. It's because I'm completely brain broken. That is the major reason. We raise a lot of money for a lot of causes. We change a lot of lives. I think that there is a reason why, despite the cyber stalking, the psychotic haters, and all this nonsense, which every content creator is aware of, by the way, which I think, in my opinion, makes it worse when a content creator eggs that on, especially because they're aware of it. XQC, Destiny, Trainwreck, Mizkif, Asmongold, Charlie, everyone is aware of it. Not saying that like all of these people are egging it on. Ludwig, Ethan. I'm not using these these content creators' names as a placeholder for like someone who eggs it on. I'm simply stating that every single content creator knows exactly what this looks like behind the scenes. No, this wasn't to name and shame. That's why I added like Ludwig, Cutie, people who are my friends as well into this list of names. Opening up to a large audience just brings hate, right? Don't you just ignore it though? Yeah, but of course, given Twitch streaming, given live streaming, and the way that live streaming is done, with the constant back and forth interaction being a fundamental part of this process, it is impossible. It is impossible to just like avoid it, because there are many different mechanisms of like continuing that harassment and cyber stalking, for example. That's something to consider always when we're talking about this sort of thing. I think that it just takes a toll. That's it. It takes a mental toll. That mental toll can turn into a physical toll. So yeah, that's it. That's my point. And I understand why a lot of people end up quitting or feeling burnt out. Pokey's been at this game for a very, very long time, right? She's been doing this for years. She's a industry giant, a powerhouse. She has been a lightning rod for the worst kinds of harassment and stalking and like ritualistic abuse that especially women receive. There's definitely like a double standard. Pokey might be going to YouTube. I doubt it. Do you think the cookies was the last straw? Probably not. So I don't know what her situation is, but I can think about it from that perspective. But yeah, no, it definitely is, you know, all of the things that I just mentioned.